Day 3 on our Viking River Cruise took us to Cologne, Germany. I do believe it is definitely one of the friendliest cities in Germany. Cruising in on the Viking ship Kara and just seeing that beautiful cathedral and then strolling down the streets. We had such a nice time checking it out, how they blended the architecture from the historical with the modern. It was seamless and perfect the way they blended that in. And I can just imagine if you were coming home 300 years ago or 400 years ago, even from a war, and you looked up and saw that cathedral, you know you were almost home, and it must have been an amazing experience. Of course, we had to try some pastries. We found one that was rhubarb. If you know, you know. I love me some rhubarb. We found us a nice little German pub, brew garden, and grabbed some food. And then we just had a great time walking around. I thought this little spot was really beautiful, and as I'm walking towards it, I do stop to take a look because you'll see how, again, they've protected some of the history inside this modern building, and it's just really, really cool. We also stopped into the local perfumery that's been around since the 1700s. It's the original Cologne in Cologne. And of course, I had to get a tiny little one to take home to share with friends and check out. And what can you say about the magnificence of the cathedral? The tombs of the three magi are there. They had a mass service going on. We were able to just walk around and explore. Now make sure when you go, starting July the 1st, there is going to be a fee to enter the cathedral. But I think that's completely fair, and I hope that we can all be understanding and still pay that, because the church has to be able to keep that building clean, keep the upkeep and the maintenance on all of the artifacts that are there, as well as the religious icons. Without those fees, there just aren't enough people making donations to cover everything. So I think it's completely reasonable that they're going to start charging that. We were there on the last day that there wasn't a fee, but I did light a candle, say a couple of prayers for friends and family, and I did pay a little donation in the box because I think it's fair and appropriate for them to be able to keep this open so that the world can continue to come and enjoy that space. So I hope that you agree, and I hope that you'll still go and check out the cathedral. Remember that shoulders and knees need to be covered, and gentlemen, you have to take off your hats. Ladies, of course, can have a scarf or a hat covering their head if they feel it's appropriate or not. That's entirely your choice. We did spend quite a long time walking around the cathedral, and we actually went back to tour the crypts and the tombs of the Magi and head down into the spaces that were closed off while they were having Mass. It was definitely worth trekking back in there. I think you'll enjoy that tour very much. We then decided to take the 30-minute stroll back to the boat, where we got to see a little bit more of the city. It was so easy to walk around Cologne, and you're not going to get lost as long as you head towards the water and head back to your boat. And we knew that we were the third boat down. There were other Viking ships in port. And so we just walked along the river till we got back to our girl, checked it out, saw the other boats around there. It was just a pleasant little stroll. We ran into some new friends we'd made along the way, and it was very, very lovely just watching the folks from Cologne as well as the tourists interact and enjoy the city. And then we got back on the boat for dinner. I'm gonna show you the menu here so you can pause to read. And of course, we had another amazing meal on Viking. All right, y'all, thanks for following along on our day 3. Tag me below if you're thinking about doing a cruise down the Rhine, and don't forget to like, follow, and share so we can keep sharing our fun adventures with you. Have a beautiful day.